And we are live. All right. So, hi guys. I'm Ali Chaudhary. You guys have seen me on, I think, EM Doc Jobs. Are you on there as well or no?
No,
Not yet.
Not
Okay.
yet.
All right. You should probably join it. And I'll tell you why later. Why don't we start by introducing yourselves? You are?
I'm Tiffany Nguyen. I'm one of the ER residents in Houston, Texas.
Awesome. Third year or second?
Second year.
Second, going into third in a month.
Yes.
Awesome.
I'm Rita. I'm Rita Kumar. I'm one of the Rising Threes at New York Presbyterian Queens at New York
Awesome.
City.
Awesome. Well, welcome guys to the Top Doc Show. Welcome. So we're here to talk about locums. So shoot away. What questions do you guys have?
My main thing is, like, as far as when you're going to a new facility or a new city, most of the time it's places that have a need for doctors, right? So you don't have that established work with the nurses there, the other docs. You're kind of learning a new system.
Yep.
How much help do you have in those situations? Is it kind of like, hey, I'm paying you for this and you figure everything out on your own? Do you have the support of the medical director that's there? Do you have the support of the staff that's there? And like, do we spend the time beforehand to go see the facility before we work there, or are we just kind of thrown in there?
Excellent questions.
Lots of questions.
No, those are great questions, because that is something you would get nervous about, right? If we're in an environment that we're not comfortable with. One thing that you'll realize once you start doing some locums is that the medicine is the same everywhere you go, right?
Yeah.
But the difference is, like you said, like the way the department runs, maybe consultants, things like that, who admits this type of patient. It takes, in my experience, I've worked at about a dozen facilities in the last 10 years as a locum. It takes about 2 weeks on average, 2 to 3 weeks of working kind of regular shifts to get adjusted to the new norm of that particular place, to learn the EMR if it's still a bit different, to get comfortable with everyone to build confidence in you as well, right? Mm-hmm. And every single place I've been to has been extremely welcoming and appreciative. As a matter of fact, that's one of the big reasons why I do locums, is because I actually feel appreciated. Yeah. They actually value me more than they value oftentimes their own employees. It's like they are like almost like, oh wow, well, thank you so much for coming and helping. And all the attendings there, everywhere that I've gone to, have been extremely helpful. And it's expected that it's going to take you like a week or two to kind of get adjusted. They don't like expect you to see the high volume that you would normally, like, you know, as once you're like seasoned, because it takes time to learn the system. So they're very accommodating, very understanding. And we only partner with sites that actually have that sort of orientation process in place. Sometimes there's a shadow shift involved with that as well. You go in like a day early, do like a computer orientation, and then like a half day for like orientation just with the doctor, just to kind of make sure you understand, okay, well, who do I consult this for, things like that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. And those are all like compensated time as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's not free. You bill for your hours that you're working. Yeah. Sometimes if it's just computer stuff, if you're just saying like doing like an hour of computer stuff, sometimes they pay you a little bit less because you're not clinically working, but it's all paid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say if I wanted to do a locum a little more locally, or I didn't have to travel that far. So like I'm based in New York City. Let's say I wanted to stay there. Right?
Yeah.
What are potential sites that you have?
So New York is, a lot of the metropolitan cities have, it's a little bit harder, not impossible, but there's a little bit less of a need for locums just because people tend to want to live there.
Yeah.
And so usually those sites will get fully staffed. But there are times when that is not the case, and then you can actually land a job in the area. But like, if you venture out about an hour to 2 hours outside of this metropolitan areas, that's where you're going to find the highest concentration of locum sites in community settings, things like that, right? And so you can still live in your New York City.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
I wanted to go 2 hours.
So you probably saw this job that I posted late last year. It was in New York, at the Pennsylvania-New York border. It's about 2.5 to 3 hours from New York City.
Yeah.
And so a lot of our doctors that we recruited, because the rate was so high, they're all just commuting. Yeah. And guess what? That whole travel, it's reimbursed. If you drive your own car, you get paid a mileage reimbursement from the company. And if you rent a car, that's all covered as well. So
how about like living expenses? Let's say
hotel is covered.
Okay.
The only thing that's not covered is your food.
Okay.
Food you got to pay out of pocket, but everything else is reimbursed by the hospital or the locums company that you're working with.
What would you say? I know you guys are wearing these W2 LOL shirts, which is funny. But what would you say about like benefits, like retirement, healthcare,
Excellent.
insurance?
So how to get them as a locum?
Well, not just how to get them, but like,
Do you offer anything?
Yeah,
Is it all 1099?
like,
So
yeah.
locums is by definition independent contractor work, which
Yeah.
is 1099.
Yeah.
You guys understand the difference between a W-2, right? W-2, your taxes are taken out before you can do anything. Like Uncle Sam takes 6 figures from your salary once you're an attending without asking you. As a 1099, they take nothing from you and they give it all to you.
Yeah, and you figure out yourself.
You with an accountant, ideally. Most doctors aren't financially savvy, and I include myself in that.
Yeah.
But so important to have that. But if you have that connection, you can lower your taxable income
Yeah.
by expenses that you're doing for your business. Because now, remember, as a 1099, you're your own business. You're a small business.
Okay.
So now
I am the business.
you are the business. So
Got
what
it.
you do is you could set up and I
LLC.
talk about that in my book here, guys, The Locum Revolution. I talk about the difference between an S corp,
Yeah.
LLC, sole proprietorship. Which one should you do? The answer, S corp. But there's more
Yeah.
details in the book.
So then that means like as a 1099 employee, you would I can use my S corp to be employed by you or that hospital
Yes.
in that sense. So it's not directly like my name
Correct.
directly on there.
Correct.
It's my S corp.
The money from the hospital, your income for your shifts that you work
Yeah.
goes to your S corp.
Great. Okay.
And then what you
I'm
do
the
is
employee of the S corp.
yes, and then you get employed as the S corp. What you do is, and this is common. And again, you talk to your financial advisor. This isn't financial advice.
Yeah.
But this is how it goes generally. As an S corp, you give yourself a reasonable salary. So let's just throw numbers out there. This isn't like this isn't again real numbers, but just throwing for example's sake. Say you make $500K as a locum doctor, which is very easy. Okay, emergency medicine, and you give yourself a reasonable salary, say of like $200,000. The rest you can take as dividend or dividends essentially, and so that's taxed at a much lower rate than your own salary is. Like your own salary gets taxed at sort of the regular rate. The other one that you pay yourself as dividend. Again, very important. I think it's really important to have someone who's financially savvy, knows they're like a good accountant who can help guide you through all that stuff. Because honestly, like I don't know the detailed intricacies of it. I just know how the general picture works. And so from all that, you save a lot more money in taxes. You get to keep a lot more.
Yeah.
And make it work for you. Guess what? Maybe you want to start a photography business. Maybe you like to, you're going to be, an influencer and do a travel vlog. I don't know. You can start your own LLC.
Yeah.
And anytime you go on a trip, you could do stuff like that, right? You can actually have that be your business. As long as you're bringing in income from that and stuff like that. So there's creative ways to do that. Talk to your financial advisor.
How would you say locums are different than like me doing per diem at a place or per diem at multiple places?
Great question. So per diem generally is W-2. So I always tell doctors this, like, listen, why would you go work extra shifts at a W-2 site? The whole goal, if you're going to be already working as an employee somewhere, is to get 1099 income so that way you can reduce your taxable income and actually do write-offs. But if you're picking up extra shifts, sure, it's down the street maybe, or maybe it's not too far away, you're doing W-2, but it's like, what's the advantage? And I've never worked with a PRN doc or a per diem doc who's made more than me, ever, in the last 10 years. So the pay is much lower, significantly lower, and you're not 1099, so why would you do that, right? So remember, especially as you're getting out and going to be graduating soon, you want to maximize your dollar per hour earning. Why would you want to waste time and not get paid as much as you possibly can?
Yeah.
You should value yourself. The thing is, we as doctors, we're not trained to understand how to value ourselves in training. We just learn about the medicine.
Preach.
We just learn about the medicine, right? And part of it is we just kind of get like grinded for like the last 10 years and we kind of devalue ourselves in a way because we've been kind of devalued the whole time. So now to actually start start thinking a little bit differently about, okay, I need to value myself. That's a big shift. And it's okay to make $300 an hour. It's okay to make $350 an hour and not feel guilty because you are a highly trained emergency physician, board certified. You spent the last 10 years of your life slaving away and just accruing hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. You deserve it, right? So don't be shy. And I think, I really encourage doctors to just understand your value. And as you probably see on EM Doc jobs, the rates that we post, I mean, what is your experience and what you've seen? You've seen me on that Facebook forum, I guess.
Yeah. No, they're almost too good to be true, to be honest. And then it's kind of crazy because
Why is that? What is it that it makes it too good to be true?
Well,
The rate?
the rates are because when I see other people post job listings, it's a great place, it's a beautiful place, it's a homey place, all the great things, and then you see the rate, it's like 180, 200, and
then you see our rates, which are like almost double that.
Yeah. Well, so I'm from like Houston, Texas, and like the rates there
Yeah, they're not going to pay more.
great. No,
they are.
they're
Oh, really?
great. No,
Okay.
yeah, like
for employed jobs.
yeah,
I see.
which is so. I also like. I mean, locums is like, it's nice because it pays really well. It's 1099, but I would have to find like an even higher rate, like around Houston.
Yes.
It's like 280, 300 an hour, not including RV.
For W-2, right?
Yeah. And so whenever I see the
I'm
rates
gonna
there,
say people from New York go to Texas.
yeah. Oh, we have plenty.
Yeah, it was a movement.
Yeah.
It's still kind of
Really?
Still use, yeah, like,
yeah,
a lot.
COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for COVID, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
Still.
Yeah.
So
But remember,
We have
that's
the
all.
court reform too.
But don't
so
forget-
it's definitely
Yeah.
super helpful.
That's all W-2 income, though.
Yeah. Well,
So you're going to pay so much more in tax, though.
100%. Yeah.
You're going to pay 6 figures in tax.
Yeah.
No one's going to ask you, can we take this out?
Yeah.
So just remember that, like when you'll realize once you take a W-2 job, which is fine, you're getting out. And I did that for 2 years, just to get my feet wet. I wanted to see what locums was like, and then I started working a little bit of locums. Then I realized very quickly 1 week of locums was equivalent to my 1 month salary as an employee. You get to keep a lot more of what you earn. The goal is not to just make more money; it's to keep as much of that as possible and make it work for you,
Yeah.
not to have it go to Uncle Sam.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, why would you just want to automatically go without asking a question? Like, take control, to be like in control of your finances instead of letting someone else dictate how your finances are
Yeah.
going to be handled. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Financial literacy is something that I didn't have any growing up.
Yeah.
As a doctor, we sacrifice a lot, and that's one of them. We don't know a lot about our about finances, but we're living in a time where learning about anything is quick, easy. ChatGPT, Google, YouTube.
Yeah.
Between those two things, you can learn anything within a couple hours. Like, have a decent grasp of it, right?
Yeah.
Any other questions?
So you were talking about like splitting up your hours and having total control of your schedule. So let's say you get signed on by a place. How many hours do they usually ask? Or like a locums?
Generally speaking, the sites that we work with, they usually require a minimum of 4 to 5 shifts per month.
Okay.
Because
And can we knock them out in a week stretch and
Absolutely.
just knock the... Okay.
absolutely, they prefer that.
Yeah.
In many cases, especially if you're kind of driving far away or flying in, then they actually want that because they won't have to pay for multiple flights and things like that. Every single job has been, and they understand you're coming from far away, so they make sure to try to block that for you. That's almost never been a problem for me.
And I see you have like, they're mostly like 10 to 12 hours. Are you doing like 24-hour sites?
I don't have any currently.
I'm not that I'm wanting them because I think that's kind of like a lot. I see
I
that
don't
I'm
think
like,
we
that's
do
crazy.
I've worked
But
at
they're like super small, like freestanding.
Yeah.
sites.
critical access
Yeah.
hospital. I've done that for a period of time. I did it for about a year. That was one of my locums gigs for about a year. I had 3. It's good. You just have to hope that you don't get anybody at night.
Yeah.
There are lower volumes, a lot lower.
Yeah.
And so, but the pay is usually lower. You're not going to get paid 300 plus an hour. Usually it's about 180 to 230 or so on average. And so, but over 24 hours, if you can find a good gig, you can make some decent money.
Application now or something like that.
You usually stack up your patients during the day, and then the nighttime you might see 1 or 2. And usually in those places, the nurses are a little bit more understanding. So they'll put in orders, they'll put an X-ray. Once it's back, they might even put a patient in a splint, something like that, or whatever, whatever, things like that. But definitely doable. It's worth experimenting. That's the thing, you can experiment. You don't have to be like stuck in one scenario. You can just say, I want to pick up 24-hour shifts, see how it goes. Try it out for a few months. Maybe you love it. Maybe you don't. I don't know. You don't know until you try it out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's my whole thing is about locums is like, just give it a go. Give it a shot. Maybe it works for you. Maybe it doesn't. But all the doctors that start working locums with us, they don't look back. No one goes from being a locum to being a full-time employee.
It's usually the other way around.
But a ton of doctors, once they do locums, the biggest regret that they have is that I wish I did sooner.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So,
picking your own hours, is your own days, like that's living
So-
the dream.
Yeah.
so instead of having your life scheduled around your work, because right now, as your residents and as an employee, your schedule is handed to you.
Yeah.
Here's your schedule. Now you have to try to figure out how do I schedule my life
Life.
around this and try to fit it in. And inevitably, you're going to miss things, family events, things like that, right? One of you was telling me you want to spend more time with family and do stuff.
Yeah.
But with locums, I have my life scheduled out first. I have my travel, any like events for my son, any sort of family vacation that I'm taking, business conferences like being here. I put that in on the schedule first in advance. And then I look at, okay, well, what days can I work around that? Do you understand?
Yeah.
This is complete, like prioritizing your life first. We still want to do medicine. I still want to do medicine. Like we love what we do.
sure.
We trained to this for such a long time. But we want to do it on our own terms and not be forced to work shifts that are erratic, bad schedules. So when you graduate, you guys, if you go into a W-2 job, you're going to get the short end of the stick and you're going to get a crappy schedule.
I mean, that's kind of partly why I chose to become like an ER doctor. Like, I don't want the on call. Like, I want to clock in, work, clock out, not think about it anymore. Didn't factor in the days that or the nights I'd have to work into it and like having to adjust that. And, you know, as you get older, you're not bouncing back as quick as you used to when you
Trust me, I know. I hit 40 a couple of years ago and like switching over from nights. I still do offer nights.
Okay.
Because my client, the hospital that I work with, they need help on nights.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you some advice here. If you're going to do locums coming out, don't be that resident or new attending that says, I don't want to work any nights.
Okay.
Because when someone tells us that, we say, okay, well, I have 10 other docs who are willing to work nights. So guess where you're going to go at the list? At the bottom.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can do that, but you're not going to be very marketable.
No.
You need to be offered,
Yeah.
like, I'm not saying work all nights,
Yeah.
but you pick up a couple of nights. If
Yeah.
you're working, say, 6 shifts, 2 nights, 1 or 2 nights.
Yeah.
You can
At least
offer
you're not
that.
like flipping back and forth. Like I'm doing
Yeah.
tonight.
So do 4 days and then maybe end profit off with 2 nights at the end.
Yeah.
Right? Something where you can kind of offer them help too, because every hospital that needs help,
Compromise.
they also
Sure.
have their own employees.
Yeah.
They don't want their employees working all the nights
Yeah,
while
it's
you're
true.
getting
They're
paid
leaving.
more.
Yeah.
You're getting paid more and you're working all the day shifts.
Yeah.
How does that make sense? Make it make sense,
Yeah.
as they say, right? Yeah. So, any other questions? Any other comments? I mean, there's some sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Awesome.
You've been very helpful. Thank you.
Thanks for joining, guys. And if you have any other questions, my email, I'll give it to you. I have my socials on the back there as well on the QR code. Feel free to reach out. Give me a follow. Tag the book. Tag me.
Sounds
We'll see you at.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
All right.
Thank you so much.